Hi, my name's Rachel, and today we have another author behaving badly. A romance novelist who once wrote a blog post about how to murder your husband was convicted for murdering her husband. Nancy Brophy, who had written self-published romance novels, romance thrillers, help me out here, had also written in a 2011 blog post that a wife who kills her husband must be ruthless and very clever because she's likely to be the prime suspect. She was correct. In the blog post, she pondered various methods of murder. She says that knives were too personal. She said that poison was too traceable, and hitmen were too untrustworthy. She wrote that guns were messy and required skill. Which one do you think Nancy used? Nancy's most popular book series as an author is her Wrong Never Felt So Right series, with titles such as The Wrong Brother, The Wrong Hero, The Wrong Cop, The Wrong Lover, The Wrong Husband, and The Wrong Seal. Not that kind of seal, like Navy SEAL. I wonder if it came up at trial that Nancy was constantly writing about men being wrong. I also kind of wonder if she plans to make the next installment The Wrong Killer and make her case for who she allegedly believes really murdered her husband, because she still claims innocence. She also wrote a nonfiction called Plotting Your Story Arc Workbook for Fiction Writers, Plotters, and Pantsers. And it would appear in the murder of her husband that Nancy was a plotter and not a pantser. I'm sorry, that's a really dark joke. I had to put it in there. I apologize. From her website, writers are liars. I don't remember who said that, but it's not true. In writing fiction, you dig deep and unearth portions of your own life that you've long forgotten or had purposely buried deep. Granted, sometimes it is smarter to change the ending. I live in the beautiful, green, and very wet Northwest, married to a chef whose mantra is, life is a science project. As a result, there are chickens and turkeys in my backyard, a fabulous vegetable garden which also grows tobacco, for an insecticide, and a hot meal on the table every night. For those of you who have longed for this, let me caution you, the old adage is true. Be careful what you wish for. When the gods are truly angry, they grant us our wishes. Ma'am, what? On the morning of June 2nd, 2018, Mr. Brophy had gone to the Oregon Culinary Institute where he taught classes. Students arrived and found him, or rather found his body, on the floor of a kitchen. He had been shot twice. If you guessed gun, congratulations, you were correct. Detectives later told Nancy Brophy that her husband was dead. They asked her for details of what she had been doing that morning. Nancy said that her husband had arose early, fed the chickens, and walked their dogs. She said that she came down later and had a shower. She estimated that Mr. Brophy had left for work around 7 a.m. But, unfortunately, Nancy did not account for video. Investigators discovered video in the neighborhood that the Culinary Institute resides in, showing what apparently looked like Mrs. Nancy Brophy driving her old minivan in the area at the time of the killing. And Mrs. Brophy testified that she had no memory of that time period. She said, maybe I was making a coffee run. Maybe I was out taking notes for my next novel. She said she was just overwhelmed by the news of her husband's death, and that would account for the indiscrepancies. Prosecutors then built their case against Nancy, showing that in the months before the killing, Nancy Brophy had acquired pieces of a gun, as in separately, including a piece that would ensure that the bullets used in the killing would not be traced back to her, or traced back to her particular gun. Prosecutors claimed that Nancy shot her husband hoping to collect on his life insurance policy. They said that she was the only person with motive. At the trial, prosecutors detailed how she had bought gun components on eBay, although the extra component that she had bought was never actually found. Nancy testified that the gun was for protection and it was bought with her husband's knowledge, and that the new gun components that she had bought were for writing research, and her husband also knew about them. And prosecutors were prohibited from mentioning Mrs. Brophy's How to Murder Your Husband blog post from 2011 at trial. But during the questioning of Mrs. Brophy herself, they did ask her about certain themes that were within the blog post itself, ending with a question that echoed some of her own wording, asking, if there is one thing that you know about murder, is it that anyone is capable of doing it? In the closing arguments, the prosecutors admitted that all of their evidence was circumstantial and said that the jury would have to put together the pieces of the puzzle in order to reach a conclusion. Nancy and her defense team contended that Nancy and Mr. Brophy had a happy marriage, were making plans for future travel, and that the prosecution's case was based on conjecture and circumstantial evidence. The defense lawyers also noted in the neighborhood where the Culinary Institute was located, there was surveillance footage of a homeless man who hid from police when they arrived on the scene, and he was looking inside of a bag, but investigators never found this man to question him. Friends and family for the Brophies did testify that the Brophies did have a long and happy marriage. But again, prosecutors said that Mrs. Brophy had a financial incentive to kill her husband. They had been struggling financially. They at one point had had a house fire and had to live in an apartment and rebuild their home. And prosecutors believed that Nancy was trying to collect on Mr. Brophy's life insurance policies. They noted that she had actually asked police for a note saying she did not kill her husband just days after the killing so that she could give this to her insurance company. But she and her lawyers say that she did not have financial motivation to kill Mr. Brophy. She said that she was not the beneficiary for all of his life insurance policies. She actually said that a fictional version of her case would not hold up to scrutiny. She said, "I think an editor would laugh and say, I think you need to work a little bit on this story. You have kind of a big hole in it." She was convicted of second-degree murder, and she is currently awaiting her sentencing, which is to be carried out on June 13th, 2022. The sentence typically for this is life in prison. Hilariously, the author herself became subject of an indie book. Nancy Brophy, Romance Author and Killer, an anthology of true crime by Pete Dove. And this has one review by Luann Larsheld, who said, "Very good book. I very much enjoyed this book. It was easy to read, kept you interested. The ending was bad. I like this author." I can't tell if she's saying that the ending was bad because she liked Nancy and Nancy killed her husband, or if she's saying she likes Pete Dove. Either way, what a mess. So that's the story of Nancy Brophy, who killed the right husband, but the wrong way apparently, because according to her, she could have killed her husband and gotten away with it. I guess she just didn't follow the right plot. Oh, the ending there got away from me. She should have had an editor look at her plot for her husband murder. This is way too dark. Okay. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you saw this in the news. A bunch of people tagged me in it and I was like, I know! I just don't have time to film. Let me know who is next for my next author behaving badly video. Savvy told me I should do Matt Walsh, and I hate that guy. I try to stay away from conservatives in this series, but if I can't find another one, I'll start doing conservatives, if that's what I gotta do. Ew, I'll start doing conservatives. That is not what I meant. I will start doing videos on conservatives. I will never do a conservative. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe if you want to support the channel. My coffee account is linked down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. A romance. What? An unearthed poisons. Oh man, you can tell what's on my brain. Had also read. What? Oh my god.